Night of Destruction number 4, the low budget season 4. Tommy, we just got done with the Enduro fiasco that we just had there, but you know what? Auto Soccer's coming up next.
This is the baby of our night. This is the one that we are set and ready for.
Yeah. And you know what? We have a couple cars ready to go. Shayla's going to be driving a car that she doesn't like very much.
No, not at all. She's tried to race it. She don't like it. She's going to run that thing. You're going to be running your car that you just ran in the Enduro.
Applebloom, round number 2 for Applebloom in Auto Soccer. So she's getting ready to go.
And I'll be driving another Mike Atkinson car.
This one is a little bit more beat up. Tommy, give us the brief.
So this car ran in the Enduro earlier this year, got rear-ended, and was done for the night after that. So much rear end damage that the right rear was shoved into the back of the door, and the left front was cockeyed, and so it was all messed up to where we had to pull that fender apart, as seen in the work video, to get some tire clearance. So this car is all sideways and jacked up. Perfect car for an Auto Soccer.
Now, once again, it's going to be Team Low Budget versus Team Pick Your Part. And once again, we know that Team Pick Your Part has shown up, despite all of our pleas against it, has shown up with those big-ass front ends that are completely unnecessary. And we've shown the track at this point that these things are digging into our cars. Mm-hmm. But, it's obviously not enough of a concern.
It's overlooked.
That, you know what, we're just going to go out there. We had a driver's meeting right before the event, and I'm hoping that we at least made some things clear with each other, that we want all the cars to last as long as they can.
Yeah.
It's not as much about knocking the other team out as it is about putting on a good show for the fans. So I said, hey, guys, can we make sure we don't knock out each other's... And I said each other's, but I was basically telling them, can you not knock out our suspensions? Hopefully that comes through.
Well, yeah, you want a car to compete.
All they have to do is touch our right front or left front, and they're going to be knocked out. We've seen that happen.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes as Auto Soccer. We're going to give them hell. Mm-hmm. We're going to have fun with it no matter what.
Yeah, of course. We're driving the junk cars with a bunch, so we've got the least to lose.
Here come the runts, Applebloom and runts. Yeah, let's see how clean we can keep this one. I think those front ends are a fucking good idea. What? They're front ends. I already have a flat tire. Sir, do you like these front ends?
How'd that happen?
How do you think?
Really?
First hit.
By who?
Robert. Now, Tommy, I'll say it was partially my fault. But if they didn't have those front ends, I wouldn't have a flat tire right now. I could take a hit from you.
No, I was fully on the front.
You want to take it? It's stuck. I'm dead. It's you versus Q. Oh no. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Auto soccer's done, and we didn't lose this bad.
We didn't lose badly this time. We only lost 4-0. So,
Wow,
we call it. It's a win for us.
Yeah, no, a win. I mentioned that in the drivers' meeting. I asked them, "Hey, let's see if we could preserve, our suspensions." Right? It only took them one hit to knock mine out.
Yeah. So they're on track.
Well, but you know what? As long as my car was going to move, I was going to cause hell.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I signed my name 14 times in the infield.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you did.
And I'm happy I did because we've warned the track about this stuff. At this point, it's on you guys. Sorry. But, Tommy, as far as the event itself goes, there were some good hits in this.
That was a lot of fun. Actually, that was probably the most fun I had behind the wheel of an auto.
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm ready to go back for more now because, Trevor, that was a lot of fun. I had no brakes. And every time
Is that why you're driving into me?
That every time I saw a car, I had to use it as a brake.
Yeah, like me. It's funny because
the first time I realized I had no brake was when I ran into the side of you.
You hit me, and you can see me in the in-car turn because I'm getting ready to get pissed off at one of their team, and I'm like, Tommy just drove into me. Okay. Shayla's car,
she ran that thing hard into the ground. She went really hard on that auto soccer. It was a lot of fun to see. Her car held up for the most part. Until one of the back wheels locked up and she was stuck.
You drove your thing into the ground.
Oh, I drove head on into Shayla a couple times. Jeffrey, my car was dead. It's not a surprise to see me kill a car.
I don't know if we documented this, but when we put the battery into Applebloom, it was like sideways in there and barely hanging on. I'm actually surprised it lasted as long as it did.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, it shut off, and I think that's why. I think a cable came off.
Broke.
Which is, once we talked about that, I'm like, I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did. So, there were some hits in there, usual issues that we had with their front ends. But today, they got a taste of their own medicine. Oh, my God.
And their alternate, well, not their alternate, the alternate that they have set up. They built 4 cars, and they have an alternate. Well, they have an alternate, but none of their cars really die off. So the deal is, if whoever's team needs an alternate, that car goes out there and plays for it. Well, I was the first one out. They played for me, and they went hard against their own cars. It was a lot of fun to watch, and it got really dangerous at one point, being that you see this clip right here. Remember this in the video? Holy cow, if this is, he got lucky. Dingus, we call him.
Yeah.
James in the number...
That's the most nervous I've ever been for Dingus.
That was scary, because you see how much that ball caved in the right side of that car? Luckily, he wasn't turning the opposite direction.
You're ever doubting that that's a 400-pound ball that we're pushing around? Perfect example. That thing shot out of a canyon.
Yeah, and that thing was, the ball got wedged in between those 2 front bumpers, and the ball had enough energy where it needed to go somewhere.
It was a cannonball.
It launched. I mean, I wonder, you can see the ball was barely moving and then flew outward.
No, it was wild. And then we finally saw some of their front ends get knocked off by their own front ends. A wild event. Glad you had fun because that was your last event of the night.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because I'm out of cars at this point. I'm completely out of cars at this point.
Folks.
Out of little cars.
Folks, it's not just his last event of the night. It's mine too.
What the hell happened?
We had just a laundry list of fiascos happen after this. Unfortunately, this is the last update we have from the Low Budget Season 4 of this Night of Destruction.
Correct.
Don't
so,
worry.
So what happened was my alternator died. There's no time or way for me to get a battery into that
for your
car,
Enduro car.
and it would have just died again. yeah, my Enduro car would have just died again. Middle of the skip the race, it didn't matter. It only could last 10 laps. So that car was a wash. I went to go get my trailer race car. It had a flat. We replaced a tire, put it on the car. Jeffrey went to go. I handed him the keys and I said, Jeffrey, go change the cameras, do whatever you got to do. And he drove back to me. And
I hit
like,
the gas,
and
and all of a sudden I felt the car just go.
And I'm like, what are you doing, Jeffrey? You got to go the opposite way. And he goes, Tommy, this car is clunk. It's rubbing the wheel. I'm like, what are you talking about? Apparently, when I drove it over, I didn't have an issue. But when Jeffrey put it from park to gear, something in the rear end shifted, and it all bound up. So
all this stuff is popping up
at the
last minute.
Time. Yeah.
Now, what happened was the next race of the night was going to be a figure 8 race, and we had intentions to do it.
But we don't have any cars.
But your car with the alternator issue, dead.
Your car with your fuse issue.
My car with the fuse issue got knocked out, and Applebloom's not running.
No way, no.
So at this point, we're out of small cars that we could run in that event. So figure 8 race, which will have some highlight clips and everything going on right when we're done doing these explanations of all these events. But figure 8 race happened without us. Then the skid plate race was the next thing to happen. I think, the only car that we were planning on having in that race.
Except for we still could not get your lug nut studs to be replaced. Your car has got a weird setup, an annoying setup, to where it's not easy. So we're probably going to have to take off that entire suspension just to change some lug nut studs.
Yeah, so we'll figure out what's going on with that car here on out. And then
the grand finale of
the trailer race, as you mentioned with your trailer car, has a weird suspension issue. Shayla made it out on the track.
Shayla made it out. She did all right. Finished, I think, 5th or 6th in a car that she was planning on killing. She just got a brand new trailer race car. So she's trying to get rid of one to start working on the other. She tried hard, but the car ended up dying on her. She was not able to do a big ending move that she'd planned for. That's okay, because she may or may not be wanting to try it again. So we'll see.
Now, for those of you who've been following along with my trailer car, you may think you know what the issue was. And I'll be honest, I was sitting in that driver's seat, joking, and you'll hear it. I was making jokes about, Tommy, should we even bother doing this? Why don't we just go and watch the race?
Yeah.
The carburetor issues we were having throughout, I wasn't sure if the car was even going to start. It struggled to start, but you were there, ready to go, after you realized you weren't going to be in the trailer.
I was there to help, yeah.
You were there to help. So we're like, okay, cool. We'll see what we can do. I need to get the hood on my car. It has the trailer on, ready to go. I need to put the hood on. I'm thinking, all right, here we go. Just a little bit of time left. And all of a sudden I saw fireworks.
Battery cable came in contact with other metal, and it fried the battery cable wire. That car was no longer in the trailer.
So the nut and washer that we have hold down my hood, which I have ran without them, and we've seen what's happened when I run without them, as you see in the intro to Eats Below Budget this season, when the hood flies off. Yeah. Not good. I decided I will chain down this hood. And as I was chaining it down, some of the chain hit the battery cable right on the metal, and it fried that battery cable. And yeah, turn the key. It didn't budge. Nothing. So that's something that we're gonna have to fix. Now
and
the carburetor.
Of course, had that thing had this issue Friday night, or hell, even earlier on in the day.
I drove it Friday from the spot. It
was perfect time, impeccable timing for an issue like that.
Yeah. So a lot of the issues that we had on this night, like I'd say aside from the skid plate car issue, which was just something that we forgot we needed a couple extra things to fix. Yeah. The timing of our prep wasn't the issue. It was very little gremlins that finally, I guess you could say, caught up.
Yeah.
Like the carburetor issue was something that it just kind of showed up in the last few days.
Well, the carburetor has been struggling a little bit more and more, so I think it's time to send it in.
It's time to send it in. But that's all the events of Night of Destruction. We only made 2. But you know what, Tommy? I think both you and I, at the end of the night, we kind of looked at each other and laughed it off and said...
Well, Jeffrey, earlier on in the year when we were doing this roundup, we had mentioned, when do we think this relaxed attitude could come up and bite us?
Yeah.
I don't know if it necessarily bit us because we didn't do anything wrong per se, but it shows that with all these events here, missing one is not the end of the world.
And that's the thing is, from our mindset, because it probably seems, and it in the past was more this way, where you start to stress out about missing an event. But honestly, it's now to a point where we don't want to miss events, but it's not worth,
killing ourselves over to,
You know,
Do
if something goes wrong, you just laugh it off and say, well, there's always next time. That's the kind of the benefit of having so many of these events throughout the year.
That's true. At first, you're like, damn, why so many? There's no time to live a life. But it works out to where you're like, well, in situations like this, roll on to the next one. So the next one's in August, and we'll be 100% ready for that
We'll
one.
kick ass in that one. I'm feeling good about that one.
Yes.
I think we got a lot of bad luck out of the way for this one.
Absolutely.
Well, folks, we do apologize for that, but here's some highlights from the whole event that we didn't participate in, the last 3 events of the night. We hope you enjoy them, and we'll see you for the next prep as we get ready for the August Night of Destruction on Season 4. Don't worry. I'll try to join you.
Okay.
It's always the biggest relief is when it does come.
Yeah. My Cadillac used to do that. Where it's like, really?
All right, you ready to hear a dead battery?
Yep.
Let's fuck shit up, Tommy.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
You're kidding me.
There's nothing.
What?
Is it? Did something come loose? Oh. You know what? I wonder if I burnt something. Good call. I forgot that happened. Do you think that shorted out the battery?
No. How much was it on fire? Was it sparking?
For like 6 seconds.
There's like no power, huh?
Nothing. There goes the GoPro. Well, I can't say we didn't call it.
No, what the hell happened?
Oh, Tommy. Tonight's not the night for us to be surprised.
Yeah.
Someone probably stole my battery thing in this too.
Completely done, huh? Move your key all the way up. Now try to shoot.